Okay, let's begin ya. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Vika Fatimatu Zahra Azali, and you can call me Vika as a moderator for this session. And it's an honor for me to welcoming all of you to the International Conference on Interdisciplinary for Sustainable Development Interdis 2025, who organized by APTISI Komisariat 6B in collaboration with Universitas Informatika dan Bisnis Indonesia UNIBI. We really appreciate your presence in this event and hope this session will be insightful and engaging for everyone. Okay, before we begin, I'd like to introduce our distinguished speakers for this session. And we have 6 speakers for today. The first speaker is Widi Dwi Aditya Putra. Second speaker is Dinda Nur Asia. Third speaker is Salma Putri Anjan. Fourth speaker, Claudia Tamara Sinaga. Fifth speaker, Muhammad Agung Bahrul Ulum. And the last speaker is Adifal Dwi Ramdhani. But there are 3 speakers that already present. Before the presentation start, I kindly remind all participants to first keep microphone mute during the presentation. 2. Post your question in the chat box or use the raise hand feature. 3. Participate actively during the Q&A session after each presentation. 4. The audience, except the presenter, have to turn on the camera during the presentation. Your cooperation will ensure a smooth and productive session. Ladies and gentlemen, now before we moving on to the next session, I'd like to ask all participants to turn the camera on to take a group photo session as a documentation. So, please turn on your camera. Salma, Dinda, and Agung, please turn on the camera first. Okay. We want to take a group photo as a documentation. Okay. Operator, get ready. In this room, have one slide, yeah. So please get ready in 3, 2, 1. Okay. So, without any further ado, let's begin to the next session. I am pleased to invite Dinda Nur Asia to get ready and present with the topic the effect and for environmental social governance ESG and profitability disclosure on company value in consumer non-cyclical company list on the Indonesia Stock Exchange in 2021 to 2023. Please proceed. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Respect ladies and gentlemen, honorable committee members, and all participants who I respect. Thank you for the opportunity given to me to present my research paper today. My name is Dinda Nurasia and I represent the Faculty of Economy and Business of Indonesia, majoring in Accounting 2021. The title of my paper is The Effect of Environmental, Social, Governance of ESG Disclosure and Profitability on Company Value in Consumer Non-Cyclical Company List on the Indonesian Stock Exchange in 2021 to 2023. Okay, first of all, I will explain this topic is interesting to research. Company value is a very important aspect for company to consider in order to attract investors to invest their funds in company. The higher the company value, it's the better. There are several ways to measure company value. The most commonly used method is to measure PBV. The following is the PBV of a company by sector. Based on these graphs, it can be seen that the PBV of all sector has fluctuated and tended to decline from 2019 to 2023. This is inconsistent with GDP, where GDP across all sectors has fluctuated and tended to increase from 2019 to 2023. The continuous increase in GDP should align with higher profits, which impact company value, especially in the consumer non-cyclical sectors, where company value calculated using PBV continues to decline while GDP continues to rise and is the sector with the highest GDP levels. Okay, next, there are several factors that influence company value, one of which is ESG. ESG is a form of non-financial information disclosure that can be beneficial to investors, leading to an increase in shares and then a rise in share prices, which will have an impact on increasing company value. One aspect of ESG is corporate governance. According to PJOK, there are three aspects of sustainability corporate governance that must be disclosed. Based on these three aspects, consumer non-cyclical company has continued to see annual growth. However, there is a gap where disclosing ESG should increase company value. Another aspect that can influence company value is profitability. The higher the profitability level, the greater the impact on profit growth, which ultimately increase company value. One method for measuring profitability is using return on asset. The return on asset value is the non-consumer non-cyclical sector is fluctuating, where in 2022 it doubled from the previous year, and in 2023 it decreased by half from 2022. Based on this data gap, I'm interested in conducting this research. Next is conceptual method. The conceptual method is based on the phenomena and theoretical foundation that have been presented. Therefore, the influence of the independent variable of ESG disclosure as variable x1 and profitability as variable x2 on the dependent variable, namely firm value, company value as variable y. Next is method study. For variable x1, ESG disclosure is calculating using the ESG formula. ESG is number of item disclosed divided by number of item expected. Profitability is ROA, earning after tax, divided by total asset. Firm value is PBV, market price per share, divided by book value per share. This sample is 70 of consumer non-cyclical company list on the Indonesian Stock Exchange. Instrument is study literature and documentation, and analytical tool is SPSS. Next is simultaneous test. The F statistical test simultaneous test was conducted to determine the effect of the independent variable together on the dependent variable. In simultaneously, ESG disclosure and profitability has a significant effect on firm value. On partial test, the significance probability value for ESG disclosure shows a number greater than alpha. Thus, H0 is accept and H1 is reject, meaning that ESG disclosure does not have a significant effect on company value. Number two, profitability has a significance probability value smaller than alpha. Therefore, H0 is reject and H1 is accept. Additionally, profitability has a positive coefficient value. Thus, profitability has a significant and positive effect on company value. That concludes my explanation and presentation. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.
Okay, thank you, Dinda, for the excellent presentation. And we have now reached the Q&A segment. We have received several questions from participants before. But due to time constraint, we have already select an interesting question, and the question is, what is the background to the choice of ESG and profitability as variable that affect firm value? So please for Dinda to answer the question.
Okay, the answer is ESG or environmental, social, and governance was chosen because nowadays company are required not to
Sorry,
sustainability
Dinda.
and company
Lagging. You can try it.
Maybe I can repeat again.
Yeah.
ESG or environmental, social, and governance was chosen because nowadays company are required not only to pursue financial returns, but also to pay attention to sustainability and good governance. ESG disclosure reflects the company commitment to social and environmental responsibility, which can improve reputation and attract investors. Profitability was chosen because it reflects the company international and internal financial performance, which is directly related to the company ability to generate profits, but are believed to influence from value as investors consider both financial and non-financial aspects before making investment.
Okay, that's it. Thank you, Dinda, for such an amazing response. Now we are moving on to the next presenter. The second presenter is from Salma Putri Anjan with the topic comparative analysis of financial performance before and after merger and acquisition using the economic value added or EVA and market value added or MVA methods in the banking sector listed on the Indonesia Stock Exchange for the 2019 to 2023 period. For Salma, please proceed.
Distinguished participants, esteemed colleagues, and respect audience, my name is Salma Putri Anjani from Universitas Informatika dan Bisnis Indonesia. Today, I am pleased to present my research proposal entitled A Comparative Analysis of Financial Performance Before and After Merger and Acquisition Using the Economic Value Added and Market Value Added Methods in the Banking Sector listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange for the 2019 to 2023 period. The study is modified by the rapid growth of Indonesia economy, which requires banks to continuously strengthen their strategies to remain competitive. From the data, total asset and third-party funds in Indonesian banking sector have consistently increased each year, indicating stronger public trust and a solid financial base. However, credit growth has fluctuated. In 2020, credit dropped sharply due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But from 2021 to 2024, it shows steady recovery. According to Fernanda, 2022 credit growth is largely driven by the amount of third-party funds collected. The higher the funds, the greater the potential for credit distribution. This reflects the important role of banks in driving economic stability and growth. At the same time, banks face challenges such as technological innovation, weak capital structure, and global uncertainties, as highlighted by Secuno 2021. Furthermore, new regulation from the Financial Service Authority, such as the single ownership policy, have encouraged banks to consolidate. Because of this dynamic, many banks have turned to merger and acquisition as a strategy to strengthen their capital and maintain competitiveness. The AVR research showed the Bank Central Asia consistently recorded positive in increasing values, while other banks mostly recorded negative AVA. Notably, Bank Danamon briefly show positive AVR. in 2019. The year included a merger, but returned to negative values in subsequent years. This suggests that merger and acquisition do not automatically improve economic value added. For MVA, most banks record a positive value indicating improved market perception. However, OK Bank consistently showed negative MVA, both before and after the merger, highlighting that the success of merger and acquisition also depends on market response and process quality, not just transaction size. Based on the big background, these studies seek to answer the following question. One, what is the financial performance measured by the economic value added and market value added methods of banks that underwent merger and acquisition and are listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange during the 2019 to 2023 period? Two, is there a significant difference in financial performance before and after merger and acquisition using the economic value added method in the banking sector listed on the stock exchange for the 2019 to 2023 period? Three, is there a significant difference in financial performance before and after merger and acquisition using the market value added method in the banking sector listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange for the 2019 to 2023 period? The objective of this study are one, to provide an overview of financial performance using the economic value added and market value added methods in the banking sector and that underwent merger and acquisition and is listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange for the 2019 to 2023 period. Two, to determine whether there is a significant difference in financial performance before and after merger and acquisition based on the economic value added method in the banking sector listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange during the 2019 to 2023 period. And three, to determine whether there is a significant difference in financial performance before and after merger and acquisition based on the market value added method in the banking sector listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange during the 2019 to 2023 period. This research is grounded in three levels of theory. Grand theory, management, and financial management, which explain how firms plan, organize, and control research to maximize value. Middle theory, synergy theory, which argues that merger should create greater value than from operating separately. And applied theory, AVA, which measure economic value creation, and MVA, which reflect market perception of value creation. Based on this framework, the research paradigm comprise AVA and MVA before and after merger and acquisition using statistical different tests to identify significant change. Hypothesis H1, there is a significant difference in financial performance before and after merger and acquisition using the economic value added method in the banking sector for the 2019 to 2023 period. H2, there is significant difference in financial performance before and after merger and acquisition using the market value added method in the banking sector for the 2019 to 2023 period. This study used two approaches. One, a descriptive approach to provide a systematic, accurate, and objective overview of financial performance, and two, a comparative approach to test difference in performance. The population consists of all banks in Indonesia that conducted merger and acquisition during 2019 to 2023 period. From these, 5 banks were selected using purposive sampling based on specific criteria such as being listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange and having complete financial reports. In total, 13 financial statements were analyzed. Secondary data were obtained from annual report available on the official website and each bank and the Indonesian Stock Exchange. For data analysis, one descriptive statistic provide an overview of the variables. The Shapiro-Wilk test checks for normality. A significant value greater than 0.05 indicates normal distribution, while value less than 0.05 indicates non-normal distribution. If the data are normality distribute, Pired sample t-test is applied to test for difference. Otherwise, the Wilcoxon sign-right test is used. A significant value greater than 0.05 indicates no significant difference, and a value less than 0.05 indicates a significant difference. That concludes my presentation. I hope this research provides values insight into how merger and acquisition influence financial performance in Indonesia's banking sector. Thank you for attention, and I welcome any question or feedback.
Okay, thank you, Salma, for such an informative and comprehensive presentation. We will now proceed with the Q&A session. I will only take one question, and the question is, what are the implications of increases or decreases in EVA and MVA value? So please, for the presenter, answer the question.
Okay, thank you. So if AVA and FVA increase, it means the company is actually creating value. AVA show that returns are above the cost of capital, which means research are being as efficiently. And MVA show that the market also sees the company as valuable in the long run. So investors usually respond positively. On the other hand, if AVA decreases, it means the company is not even covering its cost of capital, so it signals inefficiency. And if MVA also goes down, that tells us the market has about the company's ability to create value in the future. This usually affects investor confidence and even the company's reputation.
Okay, thank you, Salma, for such an impressive response. Next, I am pleased to invite Muhammad Agung Bahrul Ulum with topic title Designing the Photo Book Portraits from the Market as Visual Documentation on 10 Authentic Traditional Market in Bandung City with the inclusion of thermal paper element for young adult aged 18 to 25 years in Bandung City. For Agung, please proceed.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Muhammad Agung. I am from the Indonesian University of Informatics and Business. I am majoring in visual communication design. Today, I will present my final project titled Designing the Photo Book Portrait from the Market as Visual Documentation of an Authentic Traditional Market in Bandung City, with the inclusion of thermal paper element for young adult aged 18 to 25 years in Bandung City. Introduction. Photography is a powerful medium for storytelling. Documentary photography aims to capture moments from your life and present the history without manipulation. Traditional markets in Bandung City are not just fast economic action. They are social space full of daily interaction and local culture. This project focused on preserve warmth and humanity of the space with visual documentation. Without to review, this project is ground in four main concepts. First, documentary photography to capture real-life social moment. Second, human interest photography with a highlight emotional and interaction. Third, visual storytelling with create a narrative image. And four, the advanced method, entire detail, frame, angle, and time to get to the structure of visual narrative. Research method. I use a qualitative research for meaning and social dynamic in traditional market. Data was collected from observation and photography and interview. Both primary and secondary data support the content of this project. Research and discussion. The photo book present a market with a main photography and a short description. The layout uses a picture window format where the image become the central focus and description is secondary focus. This allows the viewer to observe the visual message without distraction. In addition to photo book, I include print photo on thermal paper. This material was chosen for its symbolic meaning, just like crochet paper. Traditional market are everywhere in our daily life, but often overlooked. For production, the first step was to visit and observe many traditional market in Bandung City. I selected 10 market with strong visual identity and visual activity. The 10 traditional market included in this project are Jatayu Iron Market, Metal Market, Metal Good and Spare Part, Andi Wholesale Market, Wholesale Goods, Sukahaji Bird Market, Bird and Pet Supply, Ornamental Fish Market, Ornamental Fish and Aquarium, Daringin Wholesale Market, Fresh Product and Grocery, Astana Anya Free Market, second-hand goods, Cikapundung Art Market, Antique and Art Piece, Cihapit Market, Fresh Food and Dairy Food, Kawasai Book Market, Book and Stationery, and Gedebage Thrift Market, second-hand fashion. Production. Our photo we are taken directly on site with a human interest and documentary photography. Subject we are not directed. Moment we are captured by candid using natural light. I applied the advanced method evaluation using various perspective in the visual narrative. Post-production. Editing was done using Adobe Lightroom to adjust lighting and color tones. Then, layout and design we are finalized in Adobe InDesign, focusing on image balance and clarity of detailing. Project result. Conclusion. Designing the photo book portrait from the market as visual documentation of the authentic traditional market in Bandung City with the inclusion of tema PP element for young adult 18 to 25 year in Bandung City, more than a documentation. It is a reflection on the importance of everyday plays. They are often forgotten. By using photography and storytelling, I hope this project help young audience appreciate the cultural and social value of traditional market. Thank you for your attention. I hope this project inspires to see traditional market in not just a place economic exchange, but a space full of human stories. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay. Thank you, Agung, for such an informative and comprehensive presentation. We will now proceed with the Q&A session. I will only take one question that's very interesting, yeah. The question is, why did you choose to use thermal paper for the portraits from the market project? And what made you prefer it over conventional photo paper? So, Agung, answer the question.
Okay, thank you. I chose a tema paper for its unique monochromatic look and texture finish, with a great arrow and add authentic feel that with a concept documentation of traditional market in Bandung. We adding a nostalgic and experimental touch for photo.
That's it?
That's
Okay. Thank you, Agung, for such an impressive response. Now, we get ready for the last presenter. I am delighted to invite our last presenter from Adifal Dwi Ramdhani with topic title Depression in Young Adult Women Experiencing Violence in Dating Relationship. Adifal, the time is yours.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Adifal Dwi Ramdhani. I'm from Universitas Informatika and Business Indonesia. I'm very happy to be here at the International Conference Interdis 2025, organized by Aptisi Komisariat 6B Jawa Barat. This conference brings together many researchers, academics, and students from different fields to share knowledge and ideas. The theme this year is Sustainable Development through Interdisciplinary Research in Science, Technology, Economy, Education, and Health. And today, I will present my research title is Depression in Young Adult Women Experiencing Violence in Dating Relationship. I hope this presentation can give new insight and useful discussion for all of us. In Indonesia, the patriarchal culture often places men in a dominant position while women are more vulnerable. This inequality also appears in romantic relationships. According to Komnas Perempuan in 2024, dating violence accounts for nearly 40% of all violence cases against women. Furthermore, more than 80% of Indonesian adolescents have experienced dating, but emotional immaturity in this relationship often leads to conflict, stress, and mental health issues such as depression. Victims usually report losing self-esteem, feeling helpless, withdrawing from their social environment, and experiencing persistent sadness. This condition forms the basis of why we conducted this research. In research method, we use a quantitative approach to measure depression level in young women who experienced dating violence. Our sample consisted of 200 female respondents aged 18 to 25 years. Selected using purposive sampling, the criteria record that they had been in a dating relationship for at least 6 months and had experienced psychological, or emotional violence in the past 6 to 12 months. To measure depression, we use the Back Depression Inventory 2, or BDI-2, which contains 21 items with a Likert scale ranging from 0 to 3. And this instrument was used to classify depression into 4 levels: minimal, mild, moderate, and severe. Its the results were very striking. Out of 200 respondents, 99% experienced severe depression, while only 1% experienced moderate depression. This means that almost all women who experience dating violence saw very serious symptoms of depression. And when we look deeper, we found several interesting details. In terms of types of violence, emotional and verbal violence were the most common, but those who experience psycho and sexual violence were classified by severely depressed. For frequency of violence, the more often the violence occurred, the more severe the depression. They saw a clear dose response effect. Regarding relationship duration, women in relationship lasting 7 to 18 months still had some moderate depression case, but most were already suffered. And finally, when we look at the Petra patterns, most violence was done by current partners, while the rest by ex-partners. Interestingly, victims of ex-partner were 100% severely depressed. In the discussion, this Finnish support international study, the World Health Organization in 2021 reported that women experiencing intimate partner violence are at a higher risk of depression and anxiety. Our study also saw that psycho and sexual violence have the most severe psychological impact, while emotional and verbal violence also contribute, but to a lesser degree. We also found that the longer and more frequency the violence, the worse the mental health outcome. This is consistent with the concept of cumulative trauma. Education appears to provide a small protective factor possible due to better mental health literacy, but it's not strong enough to prevent depression entirely. And very important, being in an ongoing relationship does not protect the victims, and in fact, it increases their vulnerability to depression because of the cycle of control and reconciliation. And to conclude, our research saw that dating violence significantly contributes to severe depression among young women. Almost all victims reported being in the severe depression category. To the stronger risk factor were 1, high frequency of violence, 2, longer relationship duration, and 3, experiencing psycho or sexual violence. demographic factors such as age, region, education, or relationship status did not provide protection. Therefore, it's very important to promote health relationship, and then raise awareness of the consequence of dating violence and provide accessibility, psychological counseling and social support for victims. And ladies and gentlemen, to conclude, our studies show that dating violence has a very strong impact on depression among young adults. Almost all victims in our research were in the severe depression category. This means we need more awareness, education about healthy relationship, and better access to psychological support for victims. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for your attention. And thank you. See you.
Okay, thank you, Adifal, for an amazing presentation. We will now proceed with the Q&A session. I will only take one question, and the question is, why did you choose young adult woman as your research subject? So please, Adifal, can you answer the question?
Okay, thank you for a question. We focus on young adult women because they are in a vulnerable phase of life where emotional immaturity and social pressure can increase the risk and expressing dating violence. Previous research in Indonesia show that patriarchal norms and gender inequality are strongly present in early adulthood, which makes a woman more exposed to both emotional and psychological violence in relationship. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your response, Adifal. So now we have reached the end of the event. And before we end the session, we want to taking a group photo again for documentation because there are presenter has joining the breakout room in the halfway through the session. So please turn on the camera for all participants. And maybe we can take one more group photo. Okay, Salma? Okay. There are just one slide, so please get ready. Oh yeah, operator, can you help me please taking the photo? So get ready in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Sip. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thank all participants for your valuable contribution to today's session. We look forward to your active participation in the upcoming event. I'm Vika Fatimatu Zahra Azali, signing off as your moderator. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you. Bye-bye.